Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to What's SB Playing. We're going to do one more episode of Dota Underlords, because I'm still having fun with it. I just played a game to warm up and it went terribly. So that was just me getting all the bad out. We're definitely not going to carry that energy forward into the game. Everything's going to go splendidly for us here. Also, apparently I finished a thing. Alright, let's find a match. So, I've played a couple of games since the last episode. I would like to try to play alliances here in this one that I didn't play in the last one, but I'm a little fuzzy on which things happened in the games I recorded and which things happened in the other games. So forgive me if we end up in something similar, or if I explain a thing I've already explained. My memory is garbage at the best of times, and this is not, the best of times. Also, I have a headache, so when we lose, I'm going to blame the headache, and I want you all to prepare yourselves for that. Prepare yourselves to go, yes, it was probably the headache, and not argue with me about it definitely being my skill at the game. Alright, we're here. We're happy. Look at how happy I look to be here. Alright, what does the game present us? Well, it suggests that perhaps we could get a mage thing going. If we were going to play mages, let's, what would we want to play alongside that? Maybe Slardar? It does help to have something in front of your mages that can, tank for them and not die. So let's start like this. Alright, so the deal with the mage alliance is it makes your enemies take more magic damage. And then obviously, it tends to be the case that units in the mage alliance deal a significant amount of magic damage. We'll see how this works out in practice. I kind of hate the thing that we're up against here. We're going to take an awful lot of magic damage. I don't think we're going to win this round, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe I'm underestimating our guys. So you can see Storm Spirit, who you might be familiar with at this point, just likes to zap back and forth, and when he zaps through a unit, he deals some magic damage to them. Crystal Maiden freezes a unit, causes it to take damage over time, and also be unable to heal or move or attack. They can still cast their ability. And if we're leaning into mages, it seems like a thing that increases the damage done by our abilities might be a good idea. Who wants that? Crystal Maiden does 300 damage with her thing. It's hard to tell exactly how much damage Storm Spirit's going to deal over the course of a round. We'll put this on him for now. And then we're going to buy 2 copies of Wind Ranger. If the game is suggesting to us that it wants to give us an early 2-star, I think we should listen. And then let's grab the Drow Ranger as well to maybe synergize with her. I want to try to stay open to what the pool might provide at this moment. It's perfectly reasonable to just have a bunch of stuff on my bench, I think, at this point, because Alright, I think he's actually going to die from that. Nope, he survived. Well, that's a shame. That's a bad early loss. It's reasonable to have a bunch of stuff on our bench at this point. We just want to be reactive to what the unit pool shows us, and also, even if we sold all the extra stuff off our bench, we wouldn't be at 10 gold, so we're not losing any interest by having these things here, instead of having them as gold in the pool. After this round, that'll be less true, and given that we just lost, I'm less likely to want to buy up to level 4 right away. I don't think... Weaver is a hunter. Maybe we do a hunter alliance. I'm just going to take it easy here at the... down here at the bottom of the pool for a second. Let's see what happens. Well, there's a good chance we'll lose this round, because we might go up against somebody who has 4 units. We might go up against somebody who's done a little re-rolling. But, yeah, this guy bought up to level 4, but then only actually has 3 units, because he re-rolled himself into a 2-star. That's fine. We're in the loss streak strategy, I think, which is fine. We're going to take this opportunity. There are 2 benefits to the loss streak strategy. First of all, you get a little bit of bonus gold that you don't have to spend gold to maintain. And secondly, every time you lose, you get a free reroll on the unit pool, which means that you are more likely to be able to build up your 2-stars or complete some alliances or... So we're just going to try to lean into that. Show me stuff that I already have. Okay. It looks like we might be sticking to mages then. Which means I'm going to sell us out of the hunter strat so that we can be in a place where we have interest coming in. There's no reason to sell the Drow Rangers just yet. But okay, mages with like a warrior up front to guard for you is a totally reasonable strategy. Didn't we just play this guy? I think that the the matchmaking here could use a little bit of work. I don't know why it's not just round robin, frankly. And I mean, like, what? As soon as you no longer have an even number of players in the game, that becomes complicated. And so I guess probably the reason is that they just want to have one simple matchmaking algorithm that runs the whole time. Also, I have no idea what's going on with Drow's Cape right now. That's definitely not the way things are supposed to look. But sometimes you'll get in a situation where, like, you play against the same person 3 times in 4 rounds. It might be the case that the matchmaking is totally random, and if that is the case, it definitely shouldn't be. It should be really obvious that that's not a good idea. Alright, we're going to take some Arcane Boots. And a Morphling. Okay, I think we're being told what direction we are leaning in. So we're going to pick up Tiny. We're going to pick up another Crystal Maiden. We're going to sell off these Drows, because that's not happening. And when we go to... I should probably have just bought us up to level 4 and committed a 4th unit to the table right there. It's fine. We'll lose one more time. We'll get a little bit more loss, streak, gold, and then we'll figure it out from there. I will say I wish that we had finished killing that Tusk. We could easily have maintained our loss streak while not losing quite as much health. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pull Slaughter for Tiny. We're going to put Morphling on the table. That gets us the Mage Alliance and also the Primordial Alliance. So when your Primordial units die, they will spawn little guys who keep the fight going. And my plan is going to be... The reason I want Tiny over Slaughter here, despite the fact that Slaughter is better at actually punching guys to death, is that Tiny's skill is an area effect stun that does a reasonable amount of magic damage, which means he plays pretty well with the Mage Alliance. Also, I think we're going to move this Kea over onto Morphling. Morphling functions pretty similarly to Storm Spirit, where his ability is a dash across enemies that deals magic damage to them. Storm Spirit gets to use his dash more often. Morphling's dash does more damage. I'm not really sure which one of them is the better... which one of them is the better holder of the damage boost item. It looks like Storm Spirit did slightly more... to be fair, Storm Spirit was still holding the Kea for that round because I didn't move it until after the round began. So probably they're doing approximately the same amount of magic damage, which means it doesn't really matter who's holding the thing. Ooh, we have an opportunity to pick up Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi is a... he does not actually have a spell. He's part of the Mage Alliance, but he doesn't actually have a spell. But he's there to stand in the front line and get punched in the face so that your other guys don't have to. I think we're going to be picking him up after the round starts here. I'm also going to grab the Slaughter. Who knows, maybe we end up on a 2-star Slaughter. In general, when you play mages, I think you need some toughness in the front line. Tiny fits the role really well, but he's not the only one who does. And it might even be worth it to try to push, like, get 3 mages, then get 3 warriors. Then after we have 3 warriors to stand in front and be tough, then we try to go all the way up to 6 mages, because I would, of course, love 75% more magic damage. I think that might be the plan. So maybe this round we just buy up to... Oh, interesting. I don't want to buy up to level 5 right now. I want to maintain our interest, but after the round starts, we're gonna throw a bunch of gold in here and try to figure some stuff out. So we should definitely move the Kea over to him. Now that he's level 2 and his thing is doing more damage, he is absolutely the right call. Alpha Betty White is not a terrible name. They also have a Tiny, so a lot of units being thrown around the field here. You can see the Eidolons from our dying Primordials. They have the Primordial bonus as well. she gets to cast her ability one more time, so that Tiny's dead. Unfortunately, we're going to lose this. There's no way we can kill that Juggernaut before he kills us. But it's a pretty small loss, at least. Here's what my troll thinks of that. Exactly. That sound describes exactly how I'm feeling right now. Alright, none of this really fits with our plan. Let's reroll, see if we can get something a little more magic-y. We cannot. I might take a Vanguard, though. We don't really need more Arcane Boots, probably. I'm gonna take a Vanguard for our tough standing in front type guy. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna rearrange these a little bit. Storm Spirit's mana bar fills up so quickly. Well, hold on. We'll talk in a second. Let me do this thing. Let me omit a tough guy to the board. Okay. Interesting. Maybe we just pull the Ogre Magi for the moment. We'll probably want to keep him in the long term because it's likely we'll need him to get to 6 mages. There are only 7 mages in the entire game, and it's hard to guarantee that you will get you know, all of the ones you want, so it pays to have a little bit of backup. But the reason I moved the... Oh, that's very frustrating. That was a really good multi-target stun from them. It kept both of our guys stunned forever. Alright, the reason I moved this over. The Arcane Boots fire when the equipped hero hits 50% mana. They grant mana to all nearby allies. Because Storm Spirit's mana pool is small, he gets to 50% really, really early on and hands out that free mana faster. Yeah, maybe we want to do this for right now. Or even this, maybe. And do we want healing from an Essex? Like, the question is, do we want Jill to tank, or do we trust that we're going to build good enough tanks? I think I'm going to trust that we're going to build good enough tanks. We're going to bring an Essex in here to heal our tanks, who are totally going to exist. And, like, Earth Spirit's not terrible, potentially, as a third warrior. And if we're gonna play Earth Spirit, then we might end up on Spirits, but this time with Mage backup. The Delta Slam does do magic damage, so it benefits from... Honestly, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's where we're at. This guy's trying to run some kind of Mage composition, but it's not quite working out for him because Tiny's disrupting his positioning. I sort of don't want to do Spirits just because... we did Spirits before, right? Now I'm questioning myself. Was that one of the games I recorded? I think that was one of the games I recorded. I don't know. We have a lot of stuff on our board that we're not actually playing with here, and I would really love to start getting some 2-stars, so maybe I should be more focused on that. Also, maybe we're headed toward 3-star Crystal Maiden. At 3 stars, her ability it's a 5-second stun on a 6-second cooldown, so it can be very significant. Trying to think here with our timing. Like, we probably want to level up soon. I'd really like to get that Warrior Alliance running. So maybe we don't want to spend anymore. I want to take it easy for a second here. I don't know what I'm just messing with stuff. So this guy's trying to do a brawny thing, right? He's got the bristleback and the Juggernaut. He's trying to build up to a great big health pool for his units. I will say that mages are not super good against Brawny, because obviously enemies that have a lot of health can just survive your burst damage and then beat you to death while you're waiting for your spell cooldowns to recharge, like what just happened here. But you could potentially get through that by just getting enough toughness in your front line that your units do survive long enough to cast again. You can also get around that by dealing so much magic damage that they can't survive it, which might sound like kind of a silly way of putting it, but like it does happen. You just completely overwhelm them. That is... Hold on a second. There we go. That's a 3-star. That might help. I'm going to move the thing over to her. So it's round 12 and we have a 3-star already. That's pretty unusual. It looks like this guy is maybe doing kind of a similar thing. He's got a couple of mages and warriors, and he's maybe halfway between warriors and spirits in kind of the same way that we are. So you can see here, Crystal Maiden is now more mana limited than cooldown limited. Her cooldown was available for several seconds there, before she had the mana to cast again. So we might want to try to find her a way of fixing that. One way of fixing that would be to play more humans. She herself is a human, so she's leading us into this alliance, and humans will help push her mana pool to the point where she can be casting constantly. Her spell does 200 damage per second for 5 seconds, and keeps targets out of fights. That's pretty good. Cooldown's down. I don't know that we actually have a unit where cooldown reduction is super good right now. Maybe Tiny, honestly. Get that cooldown, yeah. But it'll definitely be useful later.
They will be able to deal with this.
Buy ourselves up to here. We put down Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit is another warrior who has a reasonably high magic damage ability. Hits multiple targets. To be honest, maybe he gets the Octarine Essence. I don't think I bought that Morphling before the round started. Yeah, our Morphling is still 1 star for this round. That's a shame. That was really, really close. This is me. This is what I get for talking instead of fighting. So it looks like our damage is getting there. It's not quite there. An Essex helps. The Golem does good damage and is a powerful stun. Oh man, it's close. It's really close. No! He's 131 health. If we had had the 2-star Morphling, if I bought that Morphling like a split second sooner, would have made a big difference there. Alright, so now from here we focus on establishing more mages probably. Or, I mean, if we get a 2-star Storm Spirit, or a 2-star Ember Spirit going, maybe we do play Ember Spirit. Ooh. Tidehunter is definitely an interesting fit. We could replace one of our existing mages with Tidehunter. Or one of our existing warriors. We could play him in addition to what's happening already. I'm going to grab this other Slaughter for a moment, although it is... Part of me says, well, obviously you replace Slaughter with Tidehunter. Slaughter's a good unit, but he doesn't do any magic damage. He doesn't really fit with the gimmick. Tidehunter has a great big magic AoE. He fits right in, right? But at the same time, Slaughter and Tidehunter are both scaled. Running them both on the table at the same time gives us 20% bonus magic resist and survival, so that we could get our short cooldown mages to get multiple casts of their spells off, might actually be the thing we're most concerned about. And then we picked up Oh man, okay. We have a lot of options now. We have so many options that I'm starting to get a little stifled. So I'm starting to not know what to do. Keeper of the Light casts a very, very powerful channeled spell that hits a huge portion of the board. He might be really important. We have to decide, basically, are we going to go for the Spirit thing, which is powerful, but pretty inconsistent, and definitely vulnerable to, like, positional screw-ups, or are we just going to commit to Mages and Warriors? I think let's commit to Mages and Warriors. Let's see what the next pool of units is. If they show me an Ember Spirit, and they give us a 2-star Ember, then that's a thing we'll have to think about, but if not, we'll just bounce. We'll stick to the original plan. It's like the benefit of having a bunch of magic units dealing 75% bonus damage is very significant, right? Okay, I think for right now, the plan is... After round starts, I'm going to drop 25 gold into experience. We're going to try to expand our board presence a little bit here. Most of the other players are at 7, which doesn't necessarily mean that we need to be at 7, but... Okay, this guy's doing the version of the thing with the spirits. You can see his board is almost identical to ours, except he has those spirits. Wow, I wish my Delta Slams looked like that. When we play spirits, we get these weird narrow ones that hit absolutely nobody. Yeah, that's really crappy.
My time is now.
We need to have a plan. So unfortunately, cornering is not a thing that you can really do with a lot of compositions. The way that you can move spirits out of the way to... Ooh. Alright, let's take Vladimir's Offering. This is going to make our front line quite a bit tankier. And then we have to decide, do we want to run... Oh, wow, Void Spirit, huh? Game really wants us to play... But there's already somebody doing spirits. Those units are going to be very contested. Do we want to run the Tide Hunter, or do we want to run the Keeper? I'm going to put the Keeper in for the moment. That gets us to level 1 of the Human Alliance, which matters. Now that the round has started, we're going to buy these units. Yeah, it gets us to level 1 of the Human Alliance, and also Keeper's just very powerful. At tier 1, he's a little bit less powerful than I might like. You can see our front line's holding pretty strong now. We have the Vladimir's Offering helps a lot. So it gives an aura that's giving damage and armor and lifesteal. So our units are taking less damage and healing constantly just by punching people. I guess if you're not familiar with the concept of lifesteal from video games, it basically just means whenever they do an auto attack, whenever they do a melee attack, they gain health equal to 10% of the damage dealt by that. And some of our warrior units hit pretty hard. What are we looking for? I mean, we're just looking for more copies of the stuff we already have at the moment, I guess. We want to get up to 6 mages. We have Ogre Magi to come down pretty soon. 6 mages, 4 warriors is what we end up on, maybe? So we are playing the Tide Hunter. So when the Keeper of Light gets his mana bar to full here in a second, you'll see he starts to hold his staff out and charge, and the big beam of horses he shoots out does damage based on the number of seconds he was able to charge, up to a maximum of 5, I think. Alright, we're starting to... It seems like our team's starting to come together a little bit. Keeper of the Light keeled over at the end of the fight. Just old age, I assume. Not related to the combat. I'm trying to think about when we want to go up to 8. Because, like, we really want to get to 8 soon. The reason we want to get to 8 soon is that you can see here, we can't see tier 5 units until we're level 8. And the 6th mage we're looking for, the last one to complete our thing, is a tier 5 unit. There is another tier 1 mage that we could pick up, but I'd really prefer to get the tier 5, because he's a tier 5, and they're more powerful. But also, his ability is actually much, much better. He's a better fit for our thing. We'll see if that actually can happen. Okay, this guy's deeply committed to a spirit-based strategy. He's running a ton of low-star versions of the spirits just to try to get maximum number of Delta Slams. Fortunately, we have the Spirit Beam, which is very effective at killing large numbers of low-health units. The I'm running 7 spirits strategy is cute, but I think usually... It's hard to say. I was going to say usually pretty bad. It's usually pretty bad for me because my spirits never Delta Slam in a way that makes any sense. And I don't know if that might be a thing that, like, I'm positioning them wrong. It might be there are different places I could put them that would make them do a better job. I think we're just gonna... I think I'm gonna not spend a lot of money right now. Do 1 reroll. Okay, I'll buy a tiny, sure. And then after the round starts, I'm gonna drop 30 gold, pushing us to level 8, so that when the new round starts, we'll be level 8 when the units are rolled, and so we can potentially see that guy we're looking for. Somebody else just got to 3-star Tusk. Oh good, and now we have to fight the 3-star Tusk. Okay, this guy's strategy looks... What is he doing? It's just tough guys sitting in the corner, I guess? I don't know, it doesn't seem very dangerous. Comes the Horse Laser. Man, I can't wait till we can get our Keeper of the Light above 1 star. Same Onesics we do with the same Golem. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna beat this guy pretty handily. What is he running? He's got 4 Savages. I guess he thought 4 Savages would be good enough to... And your units still have to make sense, though. He does have Trolls, so he's getting some attack speed bonus, which helps him build up the Savage bonus quicker. It's not, like, crazy. Oh, I forgot to do the thing.
This is the
I remembered eventually. So I think what we'll probably do is we'll play the, So we're starting to see tier 4 units. Mechanism and Scythe of Vice are both pretty good for us here. I'm going to take the Scythe. This will help keep our Keeper safe from enemy assassins, although I don't think anybody's running assassins. No, there's no player with an assassin build. But it'll also give him more mana so he gets to the thing a little faster. And I think my plan is, let's play Tide. Ooh, we do see that other mage. We should probably buy him. We're going to move these guys over a little bit. We're going to play Tidehunter for right now. But if we find that other mage, we might change things up. And I'm trying to figure out if I think it's reasonable for us to cut. You know what? We're not going to try to build into 3-star Slarder. That's not going to happen. I do want to pick up that Morphling. Okay, so our enemies here are running a Disruptor. Disruptor casts a huge area that silences everything within it, which is a problem for us. It's getting close to that cooldown. Okay, good. Somebody killed him. Our Earth Spirit is very devoted to only hitting one target with his ability. Horse Laser goes off again. We're so close. We got to finish the job. A lot of these guys are they have healing Eno, so they're getting a lot of low yield healing constantly. We cannot afford to not finish the job. Yeah, our units just not. Our high health units, our high area damage units died too early, and then the attack based units just didn't focus their targeting at all. I feel like we've had to fight Alpha Betty White more times than I would like. I'm gonna just make a little room here. Try desperately to reroll into 3-star Tiny. Yes, we got there. Look at that. That's pretty lucky. I'm gonna move. No, we need to keep Tidehunter near the middle of the action. In fact, I might even move our whole warrior line over a little bit just to make sure Tidehunter is near the action. Because his thing only affects units that are within one tile of him when he's 1-star. Okay, it's this guy again. I feel like we've also fought this guy a lot. That's a pretty bad Tidehunter ability. I think we only hit one unit with it. We really need to get him leveled up as well. But yeah, this guy's his strategy is just it's a little underdeveloped. I think it's less incoherent than I thought it was originally. Like attack speed savages, I get, but I don't think he necessarily has the right units for it, like the right trolls. And obviously, he's a little understarred. So as we continue to level up, our chance of finding tier 5s will get higher and higher. We might want to limit the rerolls. We probably don't want to buy up to 9 now. I'm looking at our health, though, and trying to figure out how much game we have left. Let's stick for right now. This guy's running... Okay, this is the Spirit guy. As you can see, his dude got turned into a pig because he tried to attack us. Wow, that guy, he killed us in a single hit. I don't know what happened there. Oh, he also has a Keeper of the Light now. Yeah, he's doing the Spirit version of this thing that we almost did and then decided against. And I mean, it seems to be working for him. It has developed a little bit. It's no longer like, here's my army of dumb low health spirits. Now it looks a little bit more like an actual strategy. Unfortunately, we don't really have a counter to it. We could corner, but we have so many melee units that they'll just walk out into the middle of the arena anyway. If we bought in, we'd go down to 17 gold. I'm going to wait for the round to start, and then I'm going to drop 35 gold. That'll end up with us being above 20, but below 30 for the next round, so we won't be at full interest. But we really need to get our board position kind of finished. And I would love it if we could find some more Tidehunters. There's another player on spirits. Oh, actually, no. This is the guy that we fought before, who's doing the army of tiny spirits thing. Which, as you can tell from the fact that he has 5 health while the other guy has 50, not as real of a strategy as get spirits, but also like good units. So we could, at this moment, like, Pulse Slaughter for Ogre Magi. Honestly, like, the Scaled is maybe really good for us to have, though, given all of the magic spirit nonsense compositions that we're seeing here. I'm gonna reroll. Okay, that's interesting. Like, Tidehunter, like, invulnerable, and hopefully... what's the cooldown on his ability? 30 seconds? So that's probably not gonna happen. We make Morphlings super tough. Morphlings damage output is really good. And then... alright, that's not too bad. I think I'm gonna try this. We're gonna play Bad Razor. Just to get us up to 6 mages. Does mean that I should probably move the Vanguard. I definitely did not move that Vanguard before the round started. Alright, they have a Tidehunter, but he's only level 1. Like our bad Tidehunter. My Morphling actually ran over to be next to their Tidehunter right before he cast, even though Morphling has a ranged attack. Just so that he could get hit by their Tidehunter ability. That's very frustrating. Alright, so the Horse Laser went off there and didn't really do any damage. What happened is he got silenced immediately after he started casting, so it broke the channel. That sucks. It sucks that that happened that way. We got 5th place, which is not... it's not terrible, but obviously it's not what we were going for. I don't know if... I guess I didn't tell you guys. We were trying to win. You may not have been able to tell from the things that I was doing. I don't know. I think this is a reasonable strategy. I think we got a little... our 4-star units stayed underdeveloped for too long, which maybe is me not leveling up quickly enough. We're going to do one more here. Probably the last game of Underlords for this series, because I have another game lined up for the next episode, another thing I've been playing that I think is really cool. I hope you guys will enjoy that. We're going to maintain the suspense for the moment. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not... see, this is part of the problem I'm having with getting better at this. There's so much happening that I'm not 100% clear on what my mistakes really were there. Like, what should I have done? Game is kind of suggesting mages at us again, but I don't want to play mages again. Maybe we'll try to force something else. You can't really... I'm going to buy everything except the mages out of spite. You can't really force stuff in Underlords. You can try, but... you will be stymied, at least some of the time. I don't know, maybe we can make a Legion Commander thing happen. That's fun. So Legion Commander's deal is that she is a champion. Champions get all of your alliance bonuses, and for each alliance that you have at least one level of, they also get some extra damage and health. So you want to build into a... she's dead. You want to build into a whole bunch of... one tier of a whole bunch of alliances, rather than trying to build 2 complete alliances. Which, to be perfectly honest, is often the case anyway. Really, you couldn't turn around and hit the 34 health tiny once. You could have saved me a point of health. Alright, so again, we're starting with losses. I do not feel bad about this. There's an argument to be made that starting with losses is better than starting with wins, even though win streak gold is so valuable, because of the free reroll. Like, we're going to get to see a lot of units here. A Talisman of Evasion is interesting, potentially. You know what? I'll take it. Throw that on Legion Commander, because we'd like her to live. The other thing about Legion Commander is she duels people, right? We want to win some duels. Okay, there's some interesting stuff developing here, maybe. Oh. Very interesting. Maybe screw Legion Commander. And we're doing this. Put the Talisman on Weaver. Okay. We're gonna make some insect stuff happen. Insects and we almost have hunters as well. So the Insect Alliance causes little spiders to constantly crawl in from the edge of the board, and they bite your opponents, and they cause a miss chance. They increase the chance that your opponent's attacks will miss. And also they just do damage. You can see the bites are very small amounts of damage, but there's a lot of them happening very quickly. The spiders have 1 health each. They're not actually targetable. Nobody can ever attack the spiders, but because they have 1 health each, they will die to almost any kind of area damage. So like Bristleback spraying his quills, or Storm Spirit zipping across them, or Morphling zipping across them. They can be pretty powerful, though. I don't think we want any of this stuff. I think we might just stay at low level for a moment here. I don't know that we're super incentivized to move up. let's maybe lose. Let's get some money going. And maybe we're gonna try some kind of hunter thing. We'll use insects early to support hunters. I like hunters. This guy has no alliances. Looks like he's trying to build into warriors, because Tiny and Pudge are both warriors, but he's just not quite there yet, and he found a Lycan. He was like, Lycan's a good unit, which is true. The double Tiny thing is kind of funny, though, in the sense that they, the way they pick a unit up and throw it back and forth between them. Yeah, Weaver's just a great unit. I love Weaver. So he becomes invisible and untargetable and just like slides through people and does damage to them. Obviously, he also has a very high attack rate, which is pretty good for combining with the Hunter chance to proc additional attacks. It also combines very, very well with any item that gives attack damage. He will make better use of it than almost anybody else. Yeah, maybe we let the fact that the game offered us an early 2-star Weaver guide our build from here. We wanna make this Weaver proud. Alright, Terrorblade's interesting. So Terrorblade's a hunter, completes our Hunter Alliance, of course. His thing is, when he hits full mana, he transforms. He can only do this once per round. He transforms into a ranged attacker. He's normally melee. And he gets a bunch of bonus attack damage and attack speed. And also, when he transforms, he swaps his health bar with one of his teammates' health bars. So he can run up in melee, get kind of messed up, and then just go into murder mode at full health and basically start the fight over again. Yeah, we're getting manhandled here by Bristleback, killing all of our spiders constantly. Bristleback is pretty good against the Insect Alliance. And that definitely affects the viability of insects. Like, the fact that the best one unit counter to insects is also one of the most common units. One of the most liked and the most common units. How many people are running a Bristleback right now? 3 of the 7 competitors are playing Bristleback, and another one has a Bristleback on the bench. Yeah, Desolator's good. Lower somebody's armor. If we're going hunters, we're definitely going to be very physical damage focused. So we 2-star, buy ourselves up to the next level, buy ourselves a Weaver, put Bristleback, or put this guy on the table. I'm a little worried about Terrorblade as our only frontline unit. I have a concern that he's going to get killed before he has a chance to really do any damage. We'll have to rely on our other units to do enough damage to soften up the enemies. Alright, we're facing no 2-stars here, which is definitely going to help. So there's the transformation. And remember the way that being a demon works. I'm pretty sure that we saw this in a previous game. When he casts his transformation spell, he gets silenced, which doesn't matter because he's never going to cast again. And he gets bonus damage. Right now we only have 1 demon, so he gets plus 50% bonus damage. It's pure damage, which is a damage type that is immune to being reduced. It is irreducible. So he'll punch through like Knight's damage reduction. It also goes straight through armor. So he does a huge amount of damage right after his transformation for a little while. We might want to try to... I'm going to sell this Warlock so that we're on 2 interest. We might want to try to build another demon or 2 just to like buff that bonus up. Obviously, he takes a really good advantage of a huge flat damage bonus with his Hunter thing, potentially getting multiple attacks off. I'm hoping that what we're going to see here is the Bristleback players getting weakened by the fact that there's so many people trying to build Bristleback. They end up all being unable to get him to a reasonable level. It's part of the value of... Yeah, part of the value of the Insect Hunter strategy in this lobby is that nobody else is trying it at all, so all of the units should be available to us. Although, we are seeing Hunters from Indigo Purple. He does have that Wind Ranger we saw. So what's he on? He's on Drow, and he's got a Weaver, but he's only got... Oh, somebody quit the game. He lost too many times in a row, and he was just like, screw this, I'm gonna have a temper tantrum. Alright, I think we just chill. We are cool, generating some interest here. So what are the winning players building right now? The guy who's on top is at 4 Brawnies. And the other guy's trying to do a Legion Commander thing. The thing that we were briefly considering doing there. Also, kind of a Bloodbound thing. I guess we're going to get to see it up close. This is the Brawny guy, rather. So he's trying to just have more health than everybody. And then, of course, he's got the Bristleback, which is a little rough for us. Fortunately, we have a little bit more damage than we did last time we did this. And we also have that Desolator, which is going to make his life real tricky. Alright, so we broke a player's win streak and got ourselves on a win streak. That's pretty good for us, economically speaking. And we also managed to get up to a reasonable level of interest, so we're kind of doing it. For the moment, we're kind of doing it, everybody. I think after this round starts, we'll buy ourselves up to 6. Or to 5, rather. I want to maintain interest for the moment. We could really use some more Terrorblades. I would love it if this Terrorblade was 2-star. Okay. This is Foxgraven, the other Hunter player. We're not competing with him for most of our Hunters. He's building different ones than we are. He does have a Bristleback, which is annoying. But we just have damage. This strategy by itself is probably not going to work forever. We will need some kind of toughness, somebody to stand in front and hold the enemies back. For right now, we're just killing them faster than they can kill us, and that's good enough, I guess. Also, we ended the other high player's win streak. Our ghost did. That's pretty good. A Stonehall Cloak might be really good for us here for generating some of that toughness. Who's got a lot of kills? You have 9, you have 7. I think for the moment we're just going to put the Stonehall Cloak on Terrorblade, try to give him a little bit more survivability. Alright, show me what I want to be running alongside these people. I'm not opposed to just putting down another Weaver or something, but it would be cool if we had something to stand in front of the enemies. You know what? I'm going to just throw an extra demon out there. This is a distraction demon for the moment. I don't know that we'll keep him. We had to put something on the table. So, Shadow Fiend is another demon who only casts... He casts more than once per round, but only very rarely. But he does... Even with him dead, our Terrorblade is getting a bonus for us having 2 demons. My plan was definitely for him to get his ability off at least once. I did not want that to go down the way it went down. Looks like this guy has improved his toughness and damage just enough to win against us. We are really fighting the same people over and over again, though, huh? Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who I want here. Honestly, we probably want Joel. Yeah, I think we need a little bit of toughness. Joel is some free toughness. So we want to have units adjacent to him, if possible, to give him the bonus armor. And there is Terrorblade. You know who would be a fun, tough, stand in front and ruin people's day kind of guy is Chaos Knight. And in addition to being in front of people and being tough, he's also providing us some demon cred. Let's have him be up here. So his spell is cast quite frequently. Chaos Knight has a very low cooldown spell, and it's a stun. 2-star Chaos Knight is actually like a really high damage unit. I'd very much like to get him built if we can. They're dueling me successfully. But our Terrorblade has taken big chunks out of people. And Joel is doing the thing he's supposed to do, which is tank and be tough while the hunters get their work done. Pleased to see that working exactly the way we planned for it to work. Also, that's a good couple of kills for Terrorblade, so we're powering up his Stonehall Cloak a little bit there. Honestly, having a hard time complaining about the way this is going so far. So we could just try building into additional knights, maybe? I'm seeing a lot of knights in the pool. Yeah, there's a second copy of Omni Knight. Is anybody playing knights? The guy who quit was trying. But no, nobody's playing any knights at all, it feels like. Okay, maybe we're going to call a little bit of an audible here. 3 hunters backed up by a bunch of knights, or we might still get to 6 hunters. We're not seeing a ton of them. There's a Beastmaster in the pool here. Do I want to drop somebody off the bench? No, I don't think so. You know what? We'll not try to build into Bat Rider. We'll try to build into Beastmaster instead. Because Beastmaster is actually a very powerful damage unit. It looks like we're not quite going to pull this one out here. More Bristlebacks, huh? Yeah, this guy's on 4 Savages. People are absolutely nuts for the Savage strategy right now. Everybody is playing it. Part of the value of any kind of drafting... Oh, right, my bench is, like, super full. Part of the value of any kind of drafting system is that drafting systems automatically... by which I mean systems where multiple players are drafting resources from a shared pool of resources, is that it tends to devalue any valuable strategy to some degree automatically by just making it harder for multiple players to get into. The fact that Savages is powerful makes Savages less powerful. Obviously, it doesn't solve the problem by itself, but it can definitely make some distance in that direction. Alright. This guy's Legion Commander is starting to get big enough to be a real issue. Get her, spiders, get her! Okay, the spiders finished her off. I was hoping that they would make her miss enough attacks that our Wind Ranger would survive. So you can see here, Life Stealer, when he melees people, he steals life from them. That's, where his name comes from. And the amount of life he steals is based on the target's maximum HP, so he's very good against, he's really good against very tough enemies. I think we gotta take Skullbasher. We have all these units who have a chance of doing extra attacks, so anything with like a chance to proc a stun seems really, really good. Alright, we're just going to play a little bit of Omni Knight alongside our Chaos Knight. In fact, I'm going to put Omni here. He's going to be the one with the thing. So Knights. Knights take less damage, and also, if they are adjacent to another friendly Knight and facing the thing that's harming them, they get an additional level of damage reduction. I think Omni Knight is a fantastic unit. One of the best units in the game, in my opinion. So when he gets full, he casts a heal. It heals for a significant amount, and it also does damage to all enemy units adjacent to the healed unit. Their Jull is throwing big barrels of alcohol at us, which is fine as a distraction. I don't know. Let's see how effective it's going to be as a way of winning a fight. Yeah, it seems like they're not going to be able to pull this one together. Okay, this is going alright for us so far. This is kind of like two weird half strategies that we've cobbled together, but you gotta do what the pool compels, It will show you the way. You merely need to listen. Start building up toward you. At 4 insects, there are twice as many spiders, and they're almost twice as effective at making your enemies miss attacks. The big problem with that is that the 4th insect is a tier 5 unit, so it's really hard to plan to build into that. This guy's all over the place with his alliances. He's running, like, good units, though, just generally good units. You can totally get away with not having super-powered alliances if your guys are just good enough at getting the job done. That said, it does look like we're getting through him. So this is the guy that was playing Hunters. It looks like maybe he's trying to transition into a Force Savage thing, or he already has transitioned into a Force Savage thing. Like you get the idea there, right? You get bonus attacks, and those bonus attacks build your Savage stacks more quickly. His team lacks a little bit of toughness, though. We're able to just damage through his strategy. For the moment, we're not yet at that part of the game where things usually turn around on me. Boy, they really, really want us to play Knights. I'm looking at our board here and trying to figure out, we're probably never going to be able to build up all of this stuff. I'm going to take the Knight. Yeah, we're seeing copies of Omni Knight constantly. Abaddon's also very good, man. Maybe we buy Abaddon and we stay on 3 Hunters and just build into Knights from there? That might be a real strategy. I'm gonna buy that Abaddon. I love Abaddon. We have like really, really, really tough frontliners who also do good damage. That's the thing. The thing that feels kind of unfair about knights is that a couple of the knights have really high damage output. So you're building this alliance that's all about toughness, but then you're also just smashing people's faces. The tier 4 and tier 5 knights have really, really good damage output. And then like even Abaddon and Omni Knight have significant magic damage output. They're not quite as flatly powerful. So that guy's team seemed pretty good. He's on 4 druids, which gives you some free stars, and then 4 summoners, which makes your summoned units deal more damage, and a couple of the druids are themselves summoners. I'm not exactly sure how we want to manage this, because obviously I want to pick up that Abaddon. Maybe we're going to not run the Beast. Maybe this Beastmaster thing's not happening. We also need to think about like continuing to level up. Okay, well, yeah, we're just going to level up into placing Abaddon on the table. In fact, we might even... Maybe it's a good idea for us to briefly cut Chaos Knight. Run him in the Abaddon slot. I know that's going to reduce the effectiveness of our Terror Blade a little bit, but I think there's... Abaddon himself is so strong that it might be worth it. We're having a hard time actually finishing these enemies off. The Brawny is starting to get to be a problem. It took a long, long time for us to punch through a couple of those guys. Hey, where are we at relative to the level up? I guess actually we could wait until... what do we want here? Crown of Antlers. You know what? Give me this Crown of Antlers. We're going to make one of our knights a hunter. We're going to build across the alliance. I think right now it's not super good, but it will become really good if we get... Yeah, Sven is what I was about to say. Alright, we're going to have to... Obviously, we do this right now. We're going to buy both of these Omni Knights. We're going to buy this Sven. We're also going to, after the round starts, spend 20 gold on level ups, and then we'll figure stuff out afterward. Sven is a knight. He is also a total monster.
You cover me, and I'll cover
He has a passive that makes him always cleave his attacks to other enemies that are standing next to the target. And... when he gets to full mana, he just gets double damage forever. It has a duration on it, but the duration's the same as the cooldown. So if it ever were to run out, he would just do it again. He's a very high damage unit, and he will make a fantastic hunter. He should be very effective. Unfortunately, it's looking like we're not going to play him soon. Man, maybe Chaos Knight's doing good work, though. The stun is really valuable. He's stunning people for 2 to 3 seconds every 5 seconds. Yeah, no, we gotta keep him. He'll maintain this for the moment. He'll be our hunter for the moment. Then... Alright, I was gonna do this before. It doesn't matter a huge amount that we waited until now to do it. Who is... You're mildly tougher? You both have 10 natural armor? Jeez. Abaddon and Omni Knight are both maybe need to be rebalanced slightly. So when we put down Sven, we'll go to 4 knights. That's going to be on the next level up, I think. I should probably have sold one of the Weavers. It's looking less and less likely that we're going to be able to get to 3-star Weaver. In case you're wondering why I'm saying that, you'll notice as we're continuing to level up, our chance of finding high tier units is increasing, but our chance of finding tier 1 and tier 2 is going down. That makes it a lot less likely, obviously, that we'll be able to complete these early units that we've been building toward, even if we've already got a significant number of the bodies toward their rank increase. Right, a good stun from the Chaos Knight, buying us a nice easy Omni Knight win. And yeah, you can start to see the value of not just knights in general, but the value of knights with Abaddon and Omni Knight. It's just so hard to kill them. And they spread that toughness around, right? The heal can land on anybody. The Abaddon's aphotic shield can land on anybody, and so how are you supposed to deal with that? The answer for most people is they just don't deal with it. I'm gonna scoop out on the Weaver. We're gonna stop developing him at 2 probably. If we could get Sven to 2, that would be all right. I'd be okay with that. So we need to start thinking about making it to level 8 then. There is, like I said, a tier 5 knight who's quite powerful. I would not be sad at all to have him on board if we could make that happen. So going up to tier 5 has that value. Looks like their Bloodseeker is having a pretty good round so far. We really need to get him dead. Yeah, I think we're getting killed by not having successfully dealt with the Bloodseeker. Oh, does he have a... Yeah, he has a Diffusal Blade. So he's burning the mana off of our characters, preventing them from using their stuns and heals and stuff. That's pretty effective. 2-star Bloodseeker with a Diffusal Blade that's tough to deal with. Okay, Necrophos is interesting. I know we already have a candidate for the next level up, but reducing enemy armor and increasing the healing done by Necrophos and also by Omni Knight is certainly compelling. It's compelling enough that I'm going to put him on the bench and then sell him later probably when we run out of room, like right now. Yeah, that's probably... That's a cool idea, but it's looking too far into the future. Look at this guy and all of his angry hellbears watching the battle. I like Weaver and Nyx diving toward the enemy backline and trying to kill their damage dealers right away. I think that's been very helpful to us. That's a form of damage mitigation. So I think we're doing pretty well here. I don't know that I necessarily think this is a winning strategy, but it's definitely a strategy. You can't argue that it's not an idea. I think we're going to have a really hard time with W37. His game seems to be going super well. He's got kind of a goofy build going on, but like again, he's got a lot of really good individual play. These are all interesting. Aristal Secret is maybe really fun here. I'm going to take Scythe of Vice. This is a little bit of damage mitigation, a little bit of extra mana for keeping up with his heals. As he levels up, the cooldown on that gets quite short. And I think we're gonna bank for a second here. We're gonna build toward level 8. We have a pretty good idea what we're doing next, and obviously I'd like to 2-star the Sven before we put him down, but I'm also looking at the situation around us, and I think it benefits us to keep building. If we want to have any hope of being able to take on W37, we have to keep building our board position out as well as up. So this guy has a mango tree. What the mango tree is doing is it's throwing mangoes on the ground that heal people, and you have to run over to them to pick them up. But our Weaver has already managed to scoop several of them. But you can see his units like moving back to grab the mangoes every once in a while. Yeah, W37 and Akami are the two people I am most worried about. Roblox is placing above us, and Akami's losing to somebody, clearly. But I think Akami's tough for us, specifically. Oh man, Mirana. Mirana's interesting. So we'd have to put in 35 gold right now, because you can only spend in increments of 5. I think what we're going to do here is wait for the round to start, and then, commit. Hopefully we won't take too much damage here, being at 7 for another round. Put me up against, like, somebody I can beat. Did we beat Roblox last time? I don't remember. It feels like we're losing a lot lately. Like I'm starting to get really worried. It's starting to feel like that thing, that thing that keeps happening to me. Where we do super well for a while and then everything goes to hell. God, I wish we could get that last Omni Knight.
Storms come and go. We'll be fine.
Okay, so let's spend all this money. We're going to put the Sven out on the board, use that space to buy the Mirana into, take the reroll, and not find anything. That's a shame. Like I'm saying, I'd love that Omni Knight, please. Okay, all you have to do is ask nicely, it turns out. Oh, hey, look, it's the tier 5 insect man. Sand King's awesome too. Maybe we should. Should I try to get to? No, we can't get to tier 4 insects. That's not going to happen. What I should try to do is get to maxing out our hunters, because we totally could. Thanks to the Crown of Antlers giving us 1 bonus hunter. If we got to level 10, we could actually have 6 hunters on top of our 4 knights. And our 2 insects. And incidentally, we got 2 ranks of human off of Sven and Omni Knight, which is good for us. Omni Knight, get unstunned. There we go. He was stunned for a really long time there, and I was afraid he was going to let Sven die. He did eventually. Look at the spiderlings back there in the back, slowly chewing through the enemy damage dealers. I don't know, it's kind of a goofy build. And you know what? I'm going to take this Sand King. Not because I think we're going to go to 4, but because I think Sand King might actually be better than Nyx Assassin. Nyx is fine. But maybe we want to do this. So Sand King has this Burrow Strike. It's an AoE stun. It does some damage. He also poisons enemies in a way that makes them shoot poison death everywhere. He's actually quite good. We're just gonna... I'm gonna hold on to Nyx for a moment in case I end up displeased with his behavior. We'll maybe change our minds. Also gonna grab Drow. Not that I necessarily want to play Drow, but she is a 6th hunter. The 6th hunter that we really want, you're going to be surprised to hear this, is also a tier 5 unit. We'll see if that's a reasonable thing that can actually happen. Oh man, W37's units are kicking my ass. Please finish off the Bloodseeker. Okay, Bloodseeker down. That's actually pretty big for us, killing the Bloodseeker early enough in the battle. Come on, guys, just get there. It's a life stealer. He's really stealing a lot of life. Alright, I think we've got him. I don't think he can take us anymore. His Omni Knight was doing a pretty good job of keeping all his guys alive and dealing damage, but he's just a little bit inferior to our Omni Knight. So we're able to beat the guy who's currently winning. That's usually a good sign. Oh, a butterfly would be fun. I'm trying to think. We could reroll into like a refresher orb, or... I think I'm just going to take the butterfly. Attack speed, attack damage. We want to put this on a hunter, ideally. Which means maybe we want to move the Desolator to somebody else, or maybe we want to move this thing to somebody else. Take that. We can try to build toward a 3-star version of that guy. I don't want to move the crown onto Sven until he... Oh, found her. I'm gonna, we should definitely get her on the table. I'm panicking a little bit here. I don't know who to replace her with, because we're not... I don't want to break insects. I guess it's Windranger. Windranger is the one we replace her with. Medusa's awesome. Medusa attacks 2 extra targets, so she just shoots arrows at 3 people. We're going to give her the Desolator, obviously. She also has this Stone Gaze thing, because she's Medusa, right? She's a Gorgon, she turns people to stone. Gee, I hope this guy doesn't kill me. Doesn't hit me for 26 damage when we lose this round. Yeah, I just kind of like, I was left a little slack-jawed there by the thing happening. Okay, we do not die. We're definitely building toward a real future. Unfortunately, I think that our problems here are largely economical. I'm going to end up not having done it fast enough. Oh, that incidentally got us scaled. Sven and Medusa are both scaled. That's fun. Maybe I need to stop re-rolling for a second here. Maybe we need to try to level up. Her stun only affects units up to 3 cells away. Her turn people to stone. So that's why I moved her up to the front a little bit. I want her to be able to affect as many people as possible with that. Sand King did his line stun in a real goofy direction there. Alright, here comes the Medusa thing. She has to be alive at the end of it for it to work. Okay, she got him. Turning the Lifestealer to stone was a big, big play there. And somebody just went out in 5th, which means that we are guaranteed a top 4 finish, which is positive rating. So hooray for us. Okay, we got him. It's over. This is not actually W37, this is his ghost, because there's an odd number of players in the lobby, or at least there were at the beginning of the round. But he did lose his other round as well. So this is actually getting kind of close. This is coming down to it. I think Roblox is looking really strong. And listen, I'd be lying if I said I was happy about the guy playing Savages doing really well, because the strategy is like very overplayed, and I would like to see it go away. We are absolutely going to move the Hunter bonus over to Sven. Sven's not surviving as much as I might. I might move him over to the outside edge of the night block. Obviously, we kind of want him in the middle because we want his cleave to be hitting as many people as possible, but he has to be alive for that to happen. Alright, here's Akame. We've done pretty poorly against Akame. 2 wins, 3 losses so far. And yes, Sven is maybe in the wrong position for this matchup. Oh, the damage. Okay. Medusa used her ability. People turn into stone. And we're taking good advantage of it. We're getting kills during stone time. This is... I think he's got us, but it's close-ish. Unfortunately, he might have us by enough to knock us out of the game. Yeah. Oh, we lost 14 health. If we had killed one more of his units, we would have survived. 4th place. I mean... It's fine. Our rating adjustment for the entire video is 0 points. We lost 15 and then gained 15. Not even a Knight's Discipline. There's so many little grammar errors in this game. The single player mode, the city crawl thing, has so many misspellings and... Anyway. Bothers me more than it bothers anybody else, I'm sure. 3-star Omni Knight is quite a carry. We were so... If I had been willing to give up the bug strategy, we only would have needed to get to level 9. At level 9, I probably would have pulled Sand King and just gone to 6 Hunters. And that was probably like the next match, right? Was when we would have had enough gold for that. Ah, that's a shame. Oh well, that's what that game is. I like it. I think it's cool. I'm playing it in my off time, and so I wanted to show you guys, and hopefully some of you will think it's cool as well. That's going to be it for us for today and for this game. Come back next episode, for a different thing, another cool thing I've been playing in my off time, and we'll see you then.